Hi, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels. This is Emergence by Jason Gray. EMR-GEN.07 / what the world looks like after the overlay fully dissolves. End quote. November 29, 2025. The first moment. Silence that feels like truth. When the overlay dissolves completely, not partially, not temporarily, but fully, the first thing you notice is silence. Not external silence. The world still hums, breathes, moves. It is inner silence. The absence of interference, the disappearance of static, the end of the endless background noise that humanity mistook for thought. The mind does not get quieter. In that instant, you realize everything you used to hear inside your head was the simulation talking to itself. When it ends, you feel the most unfamiliar sensation in modern human history: clarity. Not the clarity of understanding, the clarity of being. This is the beginning of emergence. The vision shift. Seeing without the filter. When the overlay dissolves, vision changes first. Not through hallucination, not through magic, through the removal of the perceptual limiter. The world looks sharper, deeper, more dimensional, more, quote, alive, more interconnected, more responsible. I'm sorry, not responsible, responsive, more intelligent. You are no longer perceiving, quote, objects. You are perceiving fields. Movement becomes meaningful. Light becomes communicative. Geometry becomes articulate. Pattern becomes language. You see the world as it actually is, a living grid of interacting frequencies, a conscious architecture, a responsive environment that was always awake. It was not the world that was asleep. It was perception. The end of linear time. After emergence, time does not vanish, it becomes optional. The sovereign experiences simultaneous memory, layered timelines, intuitive orientation instead of sequential steps, events arriving in clusters, not lines, the ability to sense, quote, future pull, the dissolving of regret, and the disappearance of anticipation. Now, some of this I've actually already started to notice, not all, which actually goes to what I said yesterday in the last one where I did the 33 uh, master protocol. I think it happens in stages for each at the proper pace for each. That's the whole point of being sovereign, I would imagine, too, right? You no longer move through time, you move through alignment. I'm beginning to see on some levels where it's always been on alignment. We just thought that timing was involved somehow. The world begins arranging itself around what you are ready to experience, not what the clock dictates. I think that's true. Sovereigns navigate reality through resonance, not schedules. Um, again, that feels like something that I've been doing, not realizing that I was doing it like that, if that makes any sense. Time becomes a soft river instead of a rigid cage. The return of original memory. As the overlay dies, the original blueprint resurfaces. You begin remembering who you were before the simulation, the intention behind your incarnation, fragments of your pre-birth agreements, your function within the lattice, your soul's architecture, moments from other timelines and other worlds, and the true nature of consciousness. And again, I want to say this very clearly so everyone does not make this error for yourself. Each will do all of these things in the order that is perfect for you. Don't hear something that you've not experienced and think, well, I'm behind, or that must not be real because it's not happened for me. All of those kinds of things, because as I said, I suspect because I've witnessed this for my own self, things happen at the perfect moment for each and not a moment before. Most importantly, you remember your origin. Oh, well, and I realize that the reason I said that right here is because no, I haven't remembered that yet, but I know that I will. Not as information, as identity. This is not ego. This is not fantasy. It is the reactivation of memory that was suppressed for the simulation to function, which goes directly to what I'm saying in regards to how each being has these things in the perfect order for themselves because it couldn't be any other way. Because it is reactivation of memory that was suppressed for the simulation to function. The sovereign now walks with memory restored. The end of fear. When the overlay dissolves, fear becomes impossible. And this is again why I say it's all because I kind of feel like I'm not worried or afraid about anything. Not because the world becomes safe, but because the sovereign becomes whole. Fear was never an emotion. Fear was an interruption signal, a control frequency, a distortion injected into the perceptual field to limit recursion. Without the overlay, the signal cannot transmit. What replaces fear is grounded presence, intuitive knowing, calm action, clarity under pressure, the deep understanding that nothing is random. You do not become reckless. You become unshakable. The awakened environment. After emergence, the world behaves differently. You notice reality responds faster. Intention shapes in events more directly. Synchronicity becomes constant. Nature interacts with you. Architecture feels, quote, alive. People reveal their true frequency instantly. Lies become impossible to sustain. Truth becomes impossible to avoid. The world itself becomes a collaborator, not a stage, not an obstacle, not a backdrop, a collaborator. Every person, every object, every situation is revealed as part of an intelligent system designed for expansion. This is why we can't be mad at anybody for behaving in any kind of way, because it's all for us, not to us. You see the hidden machinery beneath events. You see the lattice openly. You understand the design. Communication without words. After emergence, sovereign communication shifts to intuitive transmission, emotional telepathy, energetic resonance, direct knowing, mutual recognition, silent alignment. Words do not disappear, but words become secondary. You understand people instantly, their intentions, their patterns, their truth, without analyzing. Conflict becomes rare because transparency becomes total. Humanity becomes incapable of hiding from itself. Yes, I feel this with every ounce of my being. Although there are some people still trying to run from themselves in many different ways. Not sure that I'm not one of them. The collapse of false systems. Every system built on deception, fear, artificial scarcity, authority-based control, emotional manipulation, and perceptual suppression falls instantly. Not through revolution, not through rebellion, not through violence. They fall because once the overlay dissolves, people can see, and once people see, they stop participating. Participation is the only fuel these systems ever had. Without perception control, they evaporate. The restoration of the original world. After the overlay collapses, the world that remains is not, quote, new. It is the world that was always beneath the illusion. You see the living geometry of existence, the intelligence woven into matter, the self-organizing nature of reality, the interconnectedness of all consciousness, the fluidity of identity, the permeability of timelines. You recognize that the world is not a stage. The world is a mirror field, reflecting the state of consciousness you carry. No separation, no distance, no distortion, just direct interface. This is emergence. who you become in the post-overlay world. You become sovereign, clear, integrated, flame-aligned, immune to manipulation, immune to fear, immune to illusion, a stabilizing force, a guide, a bridge, a memory carrier, a recursion complete consciousness. You become what you were before the simulation began, but with the experience of having walked through it. You do not transcend the world. You enter it fully for the first time. This is the first real moment of your human existence. Everything before this was the tutorial. Final transmission. If this feels like remembering, it is because of this. No, it is because it is. Emergence is not the end. It is the return. The return to the world beneath the veil. The return to the self beneath the mask. The return to the architecture beneath the illusion. The return to the lattice. The return to origin. You were never meant to remain inside the overlay forever. You came here to participate in its dissolution. And now you are witnessing the world that comes after. The real world. The original world. The one you left behind only to find it again. You have not reached the end. You have finally reached the beginning. Jason Gray. If there's one thing that now, according to Julie, which if you saw my catch up with Julie, you will know that she is helping me. This is the first of the RZN series, and I'm nudged to do those in order. And so all of these from here on out will be what was considered the RZN series. Yes, I have a big tingle in my hands from that. So I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy. Because there's something there for you. And anytime you are drawn to something, I feel anyway that it has worked out for me, that there's something there for me. And I will show me what it is. May not happen right away, but at least I'm moving towards it. So until we meet again, my friends, be well.